I gotta say, this pisses me off.
Welcome everyone! Welcome on in Rube, Reaper, Neko, and anyone else who may be watching to what better be the finale of this freaking game! Because my gosh, this has been going on for so long. And Zero, yes, welcome on in. Zero is here. And Virtue, still don't know who Virtue is. Maybe we'll figure out who Virtue is, I don't know. Last time, when we left off, we were in a very interesting predicament. Being we've yet to get the Phi ending, and we have hit the end of this, and there's nothing left, so we know it's going to extend again, and I am so tired because this extended, this required so many locks. Oh, there's so much. Joe is the coolest boss hominid in Splatoon. No, I would never do the low-hanging fruit joke. I love Joe. Joe's amazing. Alright. So, y'all ready for what's to come? Good, Rube. Good. And of course, it's Adachi Punch Wednesday, so Adachi is serving his retribution. Low-hanging joke? That's a good one, Mystery. Also, welcome on in. Yes, Mystery might do it. Yes, I think we're all ready now to continue and see what's going to happen. Oh yeah, I want to figure out where those 2 missing files are. It's actually bugging me. I was considering Neko, but laziness. That's the biggest thing. It's laziness. And I will have minimal shame in admitting that. We made our way to the warehouse on floor 8 and met up with the others. It took only a few minutes to decide to head off to the infirmary. It would have been perfect, but again, lazy. As soon as we arrived, we began to treat Alice and Quark to Radical 6. Unfortunately, we did not anticipate that there would be more issues since everyone had Radical 6. I gave Luna the Excelsior that I'd found in the queue room. She quickly prepared it and... injected Alice and Quark.
Goodness. It will take some time for them to recover completely, but they should be fine.
Backflip 6. Yeah, everyone's just gonna start backflipping, and then Alice and Quark are gonna be so confused.
Good.
Indeed.
Thank you, Luna. And thanks for finding the medicine, you guys. Thank you so much.
Don't sweat
need
it.
to thank us.
Tenmyoji said nothing, just walked over to Quark's unconscious body. He took the boy's small hand in his own and held it tight. He could see tears at the corners of his eyes as he turned away from us. Suddenly I remembered Dio. Where had he gone? It didn't take me long to find him. He was sprawled unconscious on the floor beneath the sink. Handcuffs?
Oh, we found those in the crew quarters. Before you returned, we went to check on the bomb in room 2, and we found them there. Of course, the bomb was indeed turned off. Thank you again for dealing with them. You are, quite literally, lifesavers.
Heck yeah.
You have my eternal gratitude.
I coughed awkwardly and looked pointedly around the room. I glanced over at 5 to see she's doing the same thing. No comment on the matter. After that, we headed back to the Floor A warehouse to play the AB game. Specifically me, 5K, and Luna. Clover and Tenmyoji decided to remain in the infirmary just in case something happened with Alice, Quark, and Dio. Luna would represent Clover's team. With Quark and Dio sleeping, K would represent their team by default. Which left me, Fi, and Tenmyoji. Oh, are we gonna have to play the AB game again? There's no way. You should
No, I'll let you handle it. I chose Betray in the last round. You probably don't trust me right now.
What? That doesn't matter now.
Excuse me. I apologize for interrupting, but I think you should be the one to vote in the next round fight.
Why?
You already have 9 BP. There's no reason for you to choose Betray now, you see?
Hey, you're acting like I might actually try and betray her.
Not necessarily.
What does it matter what he's suggesting?
He's suggesting that Fi could... I don't
We're
know.
almost there. We just have to play the AB game 3 more times. Then we can all get 9 points. But that means each representative has to choose ally all 3 times.
Oh boy.
Okay, I'll vote. You sure you're alright with this, Sigma?
Yeah, I trust you. Go to 96 PP, here we come. I handed her the star key.
Shall we open the doors?
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, right. We have to wait for the deadline.
Oh. Well, we could vote earlier, but then each voter would be stuck inside the AB room for 45 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, we have a lot of time to kill then.
Let's go back to the infirmary then.
You of course you have Radical 6 and came with your death game. My that game's the oldest one known to man. Oh no.
I agree. Please, lead the way.
So, interestingly enough, so far, it seems alright, but every time this is gonna get shuffled around, so who knows what the pairings will end up being. If this branches out and there's like 7 more endings, I will actually scream. Like, you have no idea. Then in case head off toward the yellow door. I was about to follow when...
Hold on. I just remembered something.
What?
The AB room on the left, in one of the other histories, she...
They just remembered the old lady, finally? Yeah, you're right. Akane's body was in there. What does this mean? Why didn't we find her body this time? Thank you, game, for acknowledging this finally, gosh!
Maybe because she wasn't murdered.
But how? When did history change?
Do you remember what Akane said?
The cat in the box. Is it alive?
Oh.
Is it dead, Sigma? Fine. You will decide its fate.
The Schrodinger's cat thing.
Exactly.
Gane fell through the plot hole. Impossible. No. I wonder what she meant about us deciding its fate.
Perhaps she was saying her own fate wasn't decided yet. The history where she's alive and the history where she's murdered are both real right now.
What? No, that's impossible. We've already opened the box. We opened the door to this AB room and there's no body.
No, we haven't opened the box. We haven't found a body. But we haven't found her alive yet either. In other words, we haven't actually observed her. The hologram was a recording from before this game started.
Oh no.
The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story.
But then how did Dio get the bracelet? Dio got the bracelet by killing Akane, okay? Her heart rate had to have reached 0, and we can confirm that's what happened in the other 2 histories. 2 big continuities, but how could she even be alive? Unless in this one she literally like gave Dio's thing, in which I doubt he would be the way he is right now if he knew that it was a trap all along.
So come and find me. I'll be waiting.
I guess I'll get an answer regardless. Where was Akane now? Where was she waiting for us? Or what if she wasn't anywhere now? What if she was waiting for us in another timeline? Or what if she's waiting for us in the past? Was that even possible? If she was, what would that mean? Oh no. I'm scared. We're about to get the extension, aren't we? Huh? Huh? Nani? Huh? AB room past? What? What? Wait, oh my... Okay. This is... Okay, so... I have a guess here, and I think my guess will be right, maybe. My assumption is the Dio kicking gift. I think what we saw there is right at the start of the AB room. One of the first things Bai does when she jumps out is she tackles Dio on sight. Either that or it happens later when he tries to escape and she tackles him. Down here. Well, those are the only 2 possibilities, but it might happen here. I don't know. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. This is cool though, honestly. Oh, damn it. Feels like my head's gonna explode. Wait. Where the hell am I? Is 5 in here? I assume so. Looks like an elevator,
No.
but...
This is
Oh,
one
it's
of
fine.
the AB rooms.
Who the hell are you? And what the hell's an AB room?
Damn. I guess you did lose your memory after all.
Damn, memory? Akane already did do this in the last game, not again. Not Back to the Future. Memory. Up, a lovely first thing to remember right there. I remember! You're Fi! He grinned. When is
Check
this?
your bracelet.
It's a red pair. BP is 3.
Mine's the same.
Does this mean this is the beginning of the game? We've gone back to when we first woke up in the AB room?
No, not quite. I think we woke up a little earlier this time.
How do you
Push
know?
the buttons on the side of your bracelet.
2:15. Oh. 2 hours 15 minutes.
We didn't wake up this long before the primary doors opened last time.
So we need to find. Are we gonna change history? Is Fi going to dropkick Dio to stop him from murdering Akane? Is that what's gonna happen?
I think we're about an hour early.
Wait a minute. If you're right.
Akane might still be alive. We got back before Dio killed her.
Oh, then.
Right. We're here for one reason.
Ah, yeah, it's rewind time. Heck yeah. Stop her from getting killed.
Exactly.
Let's move. We need to get out of here
Don't
fast.
need to tell me twice. Let's go.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. I'm actually playing this. Is this a new escape room or is this gonna be the same one but I'm speedrunning? Oh my god, it's the same one. Oh, yeah. Wait. I forgot. I mean, I got it. Sorry, for gore. We have the password, not there. Elevator, moon, sun, sun. Wait, hold up. Sun, moon, moon. Wait, there's no gold file. No, that's the wrong password. We need that one to get the key. I don't. Why is it empty though? That doesn't make sense. Okay, so. The cheaters who look up the answer are just using the morphogenic field. There it opened. Good work. Hurry up and grab the cracker. Cracker? Ah, damn, I meant key. How the hell? Just shut up and do it. Speedrun mission failed successfully. Damn. Okay, where did I put the key in? I forgot. Oh, over here. Alright, let's put this in here. Just do it already! No need to yell. Alright. Good. Looks like that worked. Ready, Fi? What do you think? I know, I don't need to ask every time, right? Then why the hell are you asking? Hurry up and right, I'm going. 10, 9, 8, 1, done. That might have been a reference to something, I don't know. Hey, you push the button. Bite me, you were taking too long. We're on schedule here. Ugh. Best escape room in the game. Actually, best escape room. I should have gotten an achievement for completing 7 escape rooms there. Then I climbed through the hatch up onto the top of the AB room. Oh my gosh, it was actually an escape. It was an escape room. Yeah, hardest escape room, one and done. Fi and I climbed through the hatch out onto the top of the AB room. It took us only a moment to spot them. Akane! Behind her was Dio. He was moving quickly and quietly, a knife glinting in his right hand. Shit. There was no time to yell to her. I scrambled down from the top of the AB room. Fi wasn't following me. When I looked back, she's still sitting on the roof. Fi! What the hell are you doing? Get down here and... Before I could finish, she moved. She ran across the roof, launched herself into the air. Yeah! Yeah! What the?
He's fine. Just unconscious.
I bent down and held my fingers in front of his mouth. He was still
I
breathing.
don't think he saw me.
Yo gets caught in 4K. Woo! Yeah! This is what we've been waiting for! This is what we're all about.
Probably has no idea what happened to him.
Guy went down like a sack of potatoes.
He had it coming.
I agree. I heard footsteps come to stop right in front of us. I looked up.
So you came. I've been waiting for you. You're here to hear the rest, right?
Wait. Just wait a minute. What the hell is your deal? How can you be so calm? If we hadn't shown up just now, you'd...
Have been stabbed in the heart by this young man and died. Yes. Although, that reminds me, I haven't thanked you yet. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you saving me.
It's drop-kicking time, baby! Heck yeah, Reaper. What?
Hold on. How do you know about being stabbed by Dio? Are you an Esper too?
Yes, indeed I am. I am able to jump through time, just like you.
Then what the hell were you thinking? If you knew he was going to stab you, why were you going to let him do it?
Because I had to.
You can always fix it, Reaper. You can change the title of clip, so feel free to do that. You... what?
Think back.
She is too dedicated to sacrificing herself to the cause. What the heck? That's what I'm getting at, Mystery, or what I think she's getting at.
Why are you here? If I hadn't been killed by Dio, no one else would have been murdered. Consequently, your own abilities would never have manifested. I did explain, didn't I? The purpose of the AB project was to send the two of you to the past. Or your minds, at least.
Poe is admittedly funnier. I agree, Rube.
In order for that to happen, some death was necessary. When a human brain is faced with danger, its processing speed increases. Information is processed more quickly, and time almost seems to slow. A few seconds can feel like an eternity.
Imagine being Junpei going through literal health saver, then she tries to kill herself to save the world. Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Unfortunately, that in the amplitude of the consciousness is simply too small. In order to increase the amplitude, we need to slow down the brain before the increase happens. It's a little like a slingshot. You pull back on the rubber band and then let go. The potential energy you stored in the band is released and converted into kinetic energy. That's what fires the bullet out of the slingshot. Now, while a slingshot can only fire in one direction, your mind isn't similarly limited. When the bullet of your consciousness is fired from the slingshot of your brain, it travels past the three-dimensional world and into the four-dimensional one. From that perspective, time is no longer fixed. In other words, you can travel to the future, the past, whenever you like. Your consciousness has been released from the three-dimensional cage.
Of course, in the process, we've just killed this timeline's version of Dio and... not Dio, Sigma and Phi, as they no longer exist and have been overwritten with a different timeline's consciousness.
In order for that to happen, I had to infect you with Radical 6.
Well, what?
We're infected with Radical 6?
Yep, I was just about to say that, Mystery, and that was literally perfect timing.
Yes. Don't you remember, Sigma? Luna should have told you about it in another timeline.
Are you sure? Infecting all of these people with such a horrible disease?
Every single one of you has been infected. Well, apart from Luna, of course. Unfortunately, it was necessary. We needed to slow your minds in order to store up your potential energy. Then we provided a dire situation that would accelerate your processing speed. The result is what you are now experiencing. Your consciousness now occupies four-dimensional space-time.
Akane is wild.
Even that, however, wasn't enough. You had the ability to travel, but your memories could easily be lost during the trip. If the project was to succeed, you had to be able to retain everything you learned in each reality. That was the reason you were forced to jump so many times.
Oh boy.
With each jump, your ability to remember improved. Eventually, you would be able to retain everything. That is why we made you play the AB game. That was why you had to select different chromatic doors. By forcing specific choices, we could cause you to make more jumps.
So yeah, they did all of this here to literally just force Sigma and Phi into more painful situations they had to morphogenic field their way out of. Damn. I get it. I think I finally understand. Well, okay, there are a lot of things I don't understand, but all of what you just told me makes sense. You did all of this so Phi and I could jump through four-dimensional space with our memories intact.
Yes.
Right? Yes, they're just trying to create time travelers. But why did you need us to do that? People have died for this. I mean, let's count how many different ways people have died. Murder, antimatter explosion, suicide. I've died. That's Phi, so have you. See, I totally get it. Doesn't get it at all. Sigma right now, so why would you do all this? What does it matter that Phi and I jumped through
Haven't
time?
I told you? Death was unavoidable. You are all destined to die. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
I already know all that. What I'm asking you is why? What is so goddamn important that it's worth all this?
I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually.
What? Just when is eventually?
In a future not very far from now.
Oh boy. Bullshit! That's not good enough! Why can't you just tell us now? Instead of answering, Kane knelt down next to you and picked his knife up off the floor.
I'm going to keep this with me.
Don't change the subject.
But it's almost time.
What are you talking about? We've got plenty of time.
No. In a few moments, you'll return to the original timeline.
What?
This is the way it has to be. Don't fight it. Logomorph.
Logomorph? Yeah, thanks Akane, very helpful. I'm sure Junpei is happy about it. Log? What?
Logomorph?
You called him Zero Jr. His official designation is Logomorph. Logomorph, this is an order. Unlock my bracelet.
Compliance.
Damn, Logomorph. So the whole Zero Junior thing was definitely... Actually?
Now, everything is in place.
Wait a minute, no, never mind. The whole oversight that I thought with the Zero Junior thing, that probably was just morphogenic field or something, I don't know. Logomorph, the gun from TF2? That sounds about right. Yeah, she is either alive or she's about to Alice herself, but one of the two. That's the to be continued solve, definitely. Okay, not solved yet, but...
I have put the bracelet onto Dio. All we have to do is place his body in the 5th AB room, the second one from the right.
That's the one Quark is in, right?
Correct. I will move him. I will also put your bodies back into the 3rd AB room. Once that's done, I will reset its puzzle to an unsolved state.
So that's why the gold file didn't come up yet? Why do you need to do all that?
To recreate the history that you remember. Your consciousness is about to leave your body and return to the future. Your body will be emptied, and your other consciousness will jump back in. If your bodies aren't back in the third AB room by then, it would be bad.
So you're saying some version of us is going to wake up in that room and repeat the same history again? Well, I guess this could actually be our second or third time.
You are exactly correct. Lastly,
Oh boy.
I'm going to leave this with you.
He paused and pulled something out of her pocket. A key? It was a small key attached to a ring.
I'll
A
tie
string.
it onto your ankle so that you won't lose it. All right, Sigma?
That means that it should be on her leg. What's it say on there?
Tu fui ego eris.
It's Latin. It means, what you are, I was. What I am, you will be.
Yes.
How did he never feel this? What am I supposed to do
It
with
will
it?
help you meet someone who's very important.
What?
Go. Return to the future. You won't be alone. I
Zero.
will be at your side, watching over you.
But where does the key go? I can't think of any locked doors off the top of my head, other than, the 9 door, but that doesn't take a keyhole.
Now hurry.
Wait, I still... bye! Come on! You don't need to be continued me. A new destination? Wait a minute. Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait, huh? Oh, okay. Wait, there's a skip there. Wait, that's just a skip. Why not? Okay. Weird, but no biggie, I guess. So much land. Not the same timeline, I guess, now.
Oh, looks like you're awake.
Is this the one where we got our arm cut off or something? This the infirmary?
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay
No.
and I went back to the infirmary, but
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
so we went to the warehouse to check on you.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
Oh. I looked over at Fi and met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now?
You mean what happened a long time ago?
So it is the same timeline, I guess? You got him pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I remember all right.
Hey,
Kay is just so
what are you
confused.
guys talking about?
Pork!
Top liver.
Hey, they're back, and pork dialogue. We're getting pork, y'all. We're getting more pork dialogue. This is most he's spoken in like 20 hours.
Back among the conscious and not psychotic, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
No problem. All in a day's work. Although I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit
Really
action.
grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
Him and his freaking swimsuit. Yes, Dio deserves it. Hey, I wasn't talking to Quark. That was an offer for Alice.
Not really my point.
Whatever. Forget about that. Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
Did they play the AV game like so all those number of times? Oh wow. It says 10. I have 10 BP.
I've got 15 BP. That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
But how?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours.
It honestly, okay, yeah, I agree, Mystery. It's more like an inside joke. I would agree. It's happened so many times. It's definitely an inside joke. It's definitely. I actually like that a lot. And yeah, they didn't betray.
We've played the AB game 3 times.
3
Yes,
times?
Of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time, but no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally.
Damn. You're surprised they're able to solve all those puzzles without Sigma. I mean, what do you mean by that, Neko? What puzzles? Didn't they just have to go in and out of the AB rooms? Because they all did their thing in this timeline, if that's what you mean. And yeah, it makes sense. They already did root out the traitor, so it's nice that they all just allied. It's
and now
nice.
all of us have enough to leave.
Are we gonna leave Dio? Probably not. My son, how had everyone cooperated long enough to raise all our BP past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or could the bombs have had something to do with it? We'd all joined forces against Dio, and Fi and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond. Yeah, whenever Sigma's in a puzzle room, he has to do everything. Which is like, man, this is a real teamwork moment. A teamwork within a fortress. In fact, you could even say this was the second time that work has been done in a fortress-like area in this game series. Intriguing. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond. We're definitely near the Fi ending, right? Right. With 9 participants, exactly, Mystery. With a tenth one being a woman who oversees everything. And kind of, which I had to admit would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
Come on, let's go! Let's open the door and get out of here!
Wait, what about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind, as was the only holdout. She complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after he escaped and deal with Dio, then she reluctantly complied. So they're leaving him here with the expectation that he won't be able to get out and do anything until more people arrive. It's over for Dio, rip.
All right, let's get going.
It's over. Oh, nice, Mystery, nice. Something tells me this is going to go horribly wrong, right? Right? Or is it all going to be okay? Everybody ready? I'm gonna open it.
Yes, just get on with it.
Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I got the lever and pulled it down. I don't want to imagine not deactivating the -1 bomb. That would be tragic. The imaginary bomb. I'm surprised that doesn't exist.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
The last time we're gonna hear this. Alright, everybody, let's move. That's right, we have the key. I didn't need to tell them twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked sort of like a large plate on top of a huge pedestal. I ran to the center of the plate and turned round. The number 9 door stood wide open.
2, 1.
Imagine Dio runs through.
The number 9 door is closing.
I totally expected Dio to get through. There's no way, Rube. There's no way. There's no way that more locations open up after talking with whoever I will be talking to.
The door has closed.
Dio runs over with an arm cut off. No.
This is the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
Up we go. Dio gotta be getting when fucking chops off his arm. Maybe Dio thinks he has cybernetic implants too. You know?
Looks like we did it.
Yes, we did, Junpei.
Yes. We should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open and went in. Oh wait, what about Kay? What about his freaking armor? Is it gonna pop off? Are we gonna find a key for it? The pressure exchange chamber, the PEC.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means that if we want to go out, we'll have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. This room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all those suits along the wall? I figured we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa! Hold on a minute. You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we were already infected with Radical 6, so the whole room seemed a little pointless.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they?
Well, except for Quark and Alice.
No, that's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
All right.
No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. Is Kay not gonna put on a suit, or is his thing just gonna be a suit? As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes waiting for the process to finish. Maybe they did get an XL suit specifically for Kay, but imagine how awkward that would be, wearing a suit on top of a suit. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. Kate, he would literally become a Russian doll. And he could be wearing many different suits at this point. Multiple layers. The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through their visors of their helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. We can suspect it might be Mars, but it also could be Nevada, which isn't much better, if at all, so we'll have to see. For a few months, we just stood there astonished. You vote for Nevada? I do too, honestly. Yeah, the whole dangerous planet, Nevada. Damn, I'm scared of Nevada. I'm never going there after playing these wretched games. Nevada, Mars, they're basically the same. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm getting at.
Desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is. Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
So?
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028. So...
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
I think we're sleeping a lot longer.
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. There was cleaner than I'd ever seen it. And the stars, the sky is full of them, more stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive, much bigger, in fact, than I remembered it being. Then as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. What's that? Is that Earth?
The moon. Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
Is that what? The moon's shadow? So we're on Mars? I found that didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot. And brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
What the hell are you saying?
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That's Earth?
Oh God.
It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. And again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon covering the sun.
What? No way. If that's Earth, then where the hell are we?
The moon, of course. This is the lunar surface.
We're on the moon.
We're just inside a moon base. No way. No. You've got to be lying.
What?
How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this?
Well, apparently that's because a solar eclipse is blasting a bunch of red light onto the Earth, question mark? Is that it? I don't know. He picked up a rock and dropped it.
See, that looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
Luna?
You were right about the gravity in a way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but...
Excuse me?
Oh
Please
no.
just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you the Excelivir, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
What symptoms?
Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed
Oh.
by the root of 1/6. It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed. If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed.
So it looks like it's normal gravity, but it's not.
As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's.
So if we were on Earth, it would look like gravity was 6 times
The
stronger.
time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration.
So that's why we never noticed anything weird about the gravity.
Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds.
That's another reason why they infected us. Not the sole reason, but another reason. Oh, that's clever. I love that, Reaper. Keep it up. Keep up the brush spam.
I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything.
Sorry I'm not saying much, by the way. I am in shock. I am taking all of this. This is really
The
cool.
gravity constant is, well, a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So now we've established that on the moon, things fall root about 6 times slower than they do on Earth.
Which means that they appear to fall at a normal speed for us.
What would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6?
Imagine how slowly Luna's talking right now in order to not overwhelm everyone. She has to do that intentionally. Maybe that's why she speaks so softly, because she's speaking so slowly.
To them, 2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us. Wait, you're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity? Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Huh? You and Sid and Vi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird.
It's kind of like my body isn't really mine.
Oh.
Floating. Like that?
So that is referencing the gravity. Seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained Fi's parents' superhuman strength. That's why she could jump so well! Oh my god, that makes so much sense! When the moon shoes are literal.
Wait, this is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there.
Freeze frame X, so true,
Look at
Reaper.
it. I've seen photos of Earth and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red.
Okay, so never mind, it's not the light.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something. This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028. Today is January 27th.
In 29? Oh.
Don't tell me. 30?
Still no.
Then just what year is this?
It's 74. 2074.
50-ish years later. 50, well, yep. No. That's insane. That would mean we were abducted more than 45 years ago.
Don't blame me if you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
How can you be sure?
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known that there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
But why is the Earth red?
We already established that they had been taken into the future, but knowing it's 45 years in the future, goddamn.
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world. On the 13th, all 18 of them went up. At
Oh.
the same time.
Old Paping Old explains why he's old. Yep. That is not that
The
surprising.
explosion was about 180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima.
What?
I suppose
Why?
It started a few months before that. The government had a test site for a future Mars mission out in the middle of Nevada.
The annihilation reactors, the 13 of them, like in the facility there, those on Earth apparently all went off.
On December 31st, 2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing. The point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there, then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down, but eventually, it also makes you kill yourself.
Damn.
Pretty soon, the bodies started to pile up.
Everywhere around Earth, yeah.
Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head. You know, the classics. But for some, it was poison, or fire, or asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground. Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed. And thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation. Everywhere you went, there were just piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that.
Oh.
After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another. They got a hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth and that'd kill the virus off for good. On April 13th in 2029, they put their plan into effect. That plan was to detonate all 18 annihilation reactors.
Okay, so never mind, not what bombs. This is when they decided to destroy the annihilation reactors, but what the heck?
Now the truth is, that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened, but I've got my own theories. I think that the bombers had already been infected, and when they died, they took billions with them. The ultimate "if I die, you're coming with me" gesture, I suppose. I bet you money they'd all lost him long before they got to the reactors.
Oh, jeez.
Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan, even if it wasn't directly responsible. Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. It is. It happened. You ever heard of nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got. The explosion threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires.
So that explains why it's red.
For 7 years, plants withered, animals died by the millions. The few humans who were left banded together to survive.
That is bleak. That is. This is genuinely a just sorrowful, apocalyptic story.
Eventually they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why a sunset's red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air's dirty. So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere.
I'm speechless. What could I possibly say? There's no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us. But we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074. But why? Why were we there? Why were we then? I was so lost in thought I barely noticed his approach.
Hey, Sigma, I think I figured something out.
A window popped in the corner of my helmet with a whisper in the corner. He seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah, what is it?
I figured out why there's an extra E.
An extra E? Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
graffiti?
The one on floor B. I think it's an anagram, just like on floor A.
What is it? What's Anna say this time?
God damn it, Sigma! Knock it off! Memento mori, if the ninth lion ate the sun. If you rearrange the letters, you get the man on the moon rules the infinite time. See? You need 6 E's to get that.
Roop got it! Roop actually got it dead on, damn.
So they stuck an extra one in ninth.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Akane. Remember what she was telling us?
We created the AB project for one purpose.
To go back in time and stop all this?
Transport the consciousnesses of 2 people into the past. Those 2 people are you, Sigma, and you, Vi.
What are you getting at?
My god, you're slow. You don't get it? They're saying we rule the infinite time. Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
Wait a minute. Are you saying they think are you saying you think they're going to send us back 45 years?
Yeah. I'd bet on it.
The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmyoji was talking
I
about?
think so.
That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, we actually came from that same time period before it actually, so why bring us here and then send us back?
Well, Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit.
Do you know where she is?
I've got an idea. Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
Tu fui ego eris.
The grave! That's right, the grave! The one in the garden!
Well, come on, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
We turned and ran back into the pressure exchange chamber, the others following close behind.
What are you doing? Did you forget something?
We're going to go have a talk with somebody.
Who?
Do you really need me to spell it out? The person behind all this.
I'll take
What?
that as a yes. Let me accompany you then.
Oh, he
Wait,
knows.
Why do you know about Akane?
I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please. I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word.
I'm going to then. So am I.
Of course everyone's coming.
Is this Akane you're talking about?
Yeah, you know her real well.
Wait, you're not...
Oh
You're
no.
serious? What the hell is going on?
Shut up! Just shut up! Come if you want to. We don't need to do a roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. Akane. The Akane of 74? With that, we headed back to the airlock. Pork suit is probably pretty tiny. Rube, I think Clover did. Either that or she's very close. So how are we gonna get back inside? And also, what will happen with Dio? To be fair, Article 6 is lagging everyone's brain. Wait, it's actually opening up again. Dio will be there with the welcome back party. Hell yeah. Oh wait, that's right. Everyone save Pork and Alice. They won't be lagging behind forever. So there's that.
The number 9 door on floor A is shut forever once the game ends.
Oh.
Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But the door on floor B...
Yeah. Thought we might be able to take the lift to it. And it looks like I was right.
Everyone could have come back in the other timeline, but they just didn't.
Any idea where Akane might be?
Yeah, the grave.
You mean the grave in the garden?
Yeah, don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive, just in the grave. Anyway, let's move to the garden. Wait, that means Dio remembers getting knocked out by 5, which is really funny. In this timeline. The B in the B garden stands for Kane. I agree so much.
Is Akane really under here?
I think so.
What should we do? Are we gonna dig her out?
No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keel on the grave? If I just insert this here, I pulled the key off my ankle and fitted it into the hole. The Kane Boompe game's amazing. I twisted it to the right until I heard something unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift.
What is this? It doesn't look like a coffin.
Yeah, it's a treatment pod.
Oh my god. It is, isn't it?
The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
Let's see what's inside.
You got to pull the lever on the inside of the pod.
No good. I think it's locked.
What?
Treatment pod TP00. Stage 1. Defrosting complete.
The Zero and Zero Escape is referencing Zero from Zero Escape, but may also be referencing either Zero Jr. or Zero Senior, one of the two.
Stage 2 will be complete in 10 minutes.
Are we gonna go check up on Dio?
Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage.
Right, cold sleep.
What?
These pods can put people in cold sleep. It uses something called CAS to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells.
So, Mizukane's like an ice cube?
I think so.
We gotta wait till she melts?
Yeah.
So how about you tell us your story while we wait, Kay? Specifically, why do you know Akane?
I remembered
What do you remember?
everything. I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9.
Of course,
A
9.
rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots.
He's ice and she's 9-0. Close enough.
Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly, that's why they call these installations that. The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon. and This is the
54?
9th one.
Damn.
Well, I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they? In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project.
The AB project?
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
It's so close to the 52. So close. Back 45 years,
Yes.
right?
So, you want us to change history, huh? Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late.
Too late?
What do you
Let me
mean?
begin at the beginning.
Thank
might
you.
be thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this, but that's not entirely correct. They only followed the histories they'd already seen. It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories.
I like how everyone else there is just like, they just have blank faces or whatever.
That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary. By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories. The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that a moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension. That was the reason for the puzzles. Your infection with Radical 6 was also a
Interesting.
vital part of our plan.
You can, yeah, hear that like water running in the background? That's not actually water, that's the combined static emanating from everyone. I don't know, not 53 other AB games. 9 times 6 does equal 54. Mystery might be on something.
By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension,
Very accurate, Reaper.
like a bullet from a slingshot.
Even reusing the same analogies, SMHK, gotta get your own ones.
Wait, hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi, but what about the rest of us?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Why them?
Why did you bring us here?
That's simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9.
Oh.
We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories. Although I suppose that's probably not a good enough explanation for you. In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is... Yes, I suppose I should explain. Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand.
Alright.
First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028. The location is Earth, of course. More specifically, Los Angeles, California.
Oh, damn.
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction. You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029. Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine. Following
Interesting.
your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage. Does that make sense?
So they were just left there to freeze.
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Yes, I assure you I'd never lie about such a thing.
Yes. in preparation for this day.
But why? What do you need us for?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover?
So I assume that they all came here at some point, and then, you know, Akane went back in time somehow via morphogenic field and had them all kidnapped. Us being in more ice. Nice.
I mean that you are able to access the fourth dimension. Am I wrong?
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking, as I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousnesses to the past. Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? This is why we brought you here, Clover.
Oh. To magnify Sigma and Phi's capabilities.
What about me?
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Huh? But I didn't do anything.
But you did. In another history, you were able to perform prime decomposition on the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind. Only you could do that sort of thing. Because of your feat of mathematics, we were about to determine that Dio had planted the bombs. Then we were able to question him and get the password for the number 31.
Wait, so Kay can also access the morphogenic field. That's very... either that, or he just knows that's just what was gonna happen. Us and Clover trying to stop the bioterrorist Akane is free real estate. Kay is Sigma, but are they the same person? That's the weird thing here. Is he a clone, or is he actually one and the same? I'm so confused.
Finally, we used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline.
He might have... yeah, that might be the case, Neko. That's kind of what I'm assuming right now. We're gonna have to see.
Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust. This history exists because of your presence. Now, let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji and Quark. Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover. You are able to access the fourth dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl, didn't you?
Yeah.
We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi, so we brought you here. All it took was a messenger.
You want to see Akane?
If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept saying he couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind.
I'm sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you. I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, don't worry about it.
I only died in a couple timelines. It's okay.
I agreed to come with you. I thought the moon would be way more interesting than boring old Earth. What kid would turn that down?
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon. During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there. I don't remember anything after we landed.
Yeah, it was just a little bonding experience with family, that's all.
Then there was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out, and when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
Now, Dio, his real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons. He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul, which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother. It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago. Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier?
Yeah, they needed those root beer floats badly. They should have treated it more like a vacation. Maybe then everything would have been fine in the end, you know?
The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released. If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization. Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward. That is why Brother sent Left, his trusted lieutenant, to this facility. They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given two tasks. The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project. The second was to join the AB game and win it. If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed, at least not in that timeline. In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped. If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan. If you cannot murder Akane and win the game, destroy Rhizome 9, hence the bombs.
Damn.
Can I ask you something?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Thanks, Kate.
How did Brother know about the AB project?
Yeah, that's why the bombs are only in that timeline, I guess. Because Akane was never found and killed. If Akane was never killed, yeah, that actually makes perfect sense. Akane wasn't killed in that timeline, meaning Dio had to resort to his contingency plan. And yes, I approve too.
He was also an Esper.
Dio's an
We can set
Esper?
Brother
Or
aside for
no,
now, though.
Brother's an Esper.
May I proceed?
No one objected. We were all curious.
Excellent. That explains everyone, save two, Luna and myself.
Well, we can figure that much out at least. There's no way that brother is Santa. There's no way. I don't believe it. Actually, Otis from Barnyard, since he said perhaps. Please, no. Never bring up Barnyard. No. No.
Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna. I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves at a later time. Would that be alright with you, Luna?
Yes, that's okay.
As for me, as I said before, I was born and raised here. The rest of you were brought to this facility. But I've never left. That makes me someone close to Zero Senior and Akane.
Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior?
You've already met him, Sigma, in another timeline.
Yeah. Well, I saw a hologram. I still don't know who he is.
Stage 2 is complete. TP 0.
Imagine Zero Seniors in this.
unlocking.
It looks
It's
like
not
it's
Akane.
finished. Shall we open the pod?
Yeah, let's do it. All of us gathered around the pod. Maybe Rube. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see. At this point, anything could be
Okay.
possible. I don't know.
Let's get started then. Ready?
Phi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed. Yeah,
All right.
anytime.
Here we go. 3, 2,
2,
1.
1. These are a lot of heartbeats. Suddenly my head was full of memories from other timelines. I'd seen something like this before. The warehouse of floor B in front of the white door. Kay was lying in front of me. I grabbed his mask and saw my own face. I never figured out who he really was. Why was there a man with my face underneath Kay's armor? It didn't make sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with tubocurine, and that was the end of that. But wait, there's a person in the pod with the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse, who was wearing Kay's armor.
You finally noticed. Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
No. Oh my
Yes,
god, you're...
I am.
Akane Kurashiki.
What? What? But... So that means that in... Okay, so my guess here is that in this timeline, she swapped places with Kay. This timeline here, she put Kay in cryostasis. And she did her thing in here? Is that it? But how does that work?
It's you, June. I mean, Akane from... But...
June.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover. Or you, Junpei.
Junpei?
Akane,
Oh, now she figured it out.
long time no see.
I could barely hear what they were saying. My mind was still reeling. It felt like all the air had been knocked out of me, and it was all I could do not to collapse right then and there.
When? How long?
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse?
Thank you for playing that again, game.
Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did at least. I carried your bodies to the 3rd AB room, and then took Dio's to the 5th. After that, I went into the 1st room and borrowed Kay's
Yep,
arm.
so that's what happened.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Dio killed you, and then Moon took your body to 6th room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor.
It was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't. You two saved me. It's just like Schrodinger's cat. Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
What? No, that's nuts.
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then?
They are getting so much mileage from a 2-second
Who's wearing the
animation.
armor?
That's quite simple. The man in front of you.
Him?
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of Soporil can cause memory loss. I
Damn.
gave him a rather
That's
large
rough.
dose.
So, who is he?
You've never seen him before?
No.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
I've never seen him before.
But
Me either.
Total stranger.
hey, come on, what are you guys saying? Right here? Same face?
Huh?
Are you alright, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something?
Huh? What? It didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future from 45 years ago.
I looked around frantically. A pond! I ran to it and threw myself down to my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down, calm down, calm down, damn it. I struggled to take deep breaths. Then slowly, I peered into the pond, looking for my reflection. Damn! Sigma 0 Senior! No, this can't be real. This face.
It's your face.
I hate everything. I hate everything so much. I just had to restart OBS and now it decided to work, but I had to restart OBS. And it didn't matter at all. But let's just hope that it doesn't freaking die again. I'm miffed. This dream's consciousness did jump between timelines. At least it's not continuously dying, right? Oh, it dipped there. Don't do this to me, OBS. Alright, let's continue like nothing happened. What? No, that's not possible. That's bullshit.
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
You will be a pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
You're
No,
lying.
I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Create.
His name is Kyle Klein, your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future.
That's right, Reaper. I think that happened at some point. Oh no.
When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor ever since he was born. He's lived inside of it. It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
You look. I don't remember that line there, but that is wild. I believe that happened. However, that sounds so Burrell. But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place. I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul, or the consciousness. Body is, well...
I actually don't remember where I was, like how long I've been streaming. I mean, I could just look at time, but... Alright. Oh, I'm mad that my internet died there, or
exactly
OBS died.
What it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch.
That means that old Sigma's now in young Sigma's body.
That was the chief goal of the project.
Wait, so the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes. Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this. It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making.
Oh gosh.
A is where everything began. December 25th, 2028. You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness.
They've gaslit us into normalizing the timeline jumping mystery. The moon is still a better outcome than Nevada. I agree, Neko.
From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074. You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old. Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out.
Oh, Connie, you silly girl, and you're white. Knockout smoke, what will we do with you? The AB game was a success, apparently.
Moving on. If you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C, which is January 27, 2074. That is today.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You are all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down, so yes, 36 hours of real time have passed.
I'm surprised they all haven't just knocked themselves or passed out, really, not knocked themselves unconscious. They aren't feeling suicidal yet. Zero Senior jumped 45 years back, yeah.
But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes. Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past. It will re-emerge at point D. April 13th, 2029. You will return to your younger body.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened. The story does not end there, however.
Oh no.
The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B, but this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal. Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body until you reach point B. Do you remember when B is, Sigma?
January 25th, 2074. According to what you just told us, it's 36 hours ago.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma. So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Point A. December 25th, 2028, the day this all started.
Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
But once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old conscious will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at C.
Yes, Reaper, that was the clone who did that. And yet they really took the "we are all time travelers" by waiting joke to the extreme. So it's rotating?
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way, but look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line. It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path, with one exception.
This line here at point E, right?
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
Hence the red dot. The day Radical 6 got out of the facility.
Yes. By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out by jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve 2028?
Yes, that is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C, and for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point, so that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
Tell me one thing.
What is that?
Which at that point sees January 27th, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029.
Yes, that's right.
But look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon.
Soon?
Yes.
And what's going to trigger it?
We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot.
And how do you propose to do that?
Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That
Oh no.
can jumpstart your brain.
What do you mean?
You haven't figured it out. I mean this.
Oh my god, that's why she got the knife. Dio's knife. No sooner were the words out of my mouth. Hi! I screamed and leapt toward them. Hane was already in motion, to the knife diving towards Fai's chest. I was almost there. When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There's a dull pain in my chest. I felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Kane's body lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. Tu, hui, ego, eris. What you are, I was. What am I, you will be. That's it? That's the game? What? No! No! No way! Oh my... yeah, GG earlier, Link. That was funny that we found each other and opened that. That was pretty great. GG. Oh my gosh. My stream died, Subtle Pop. It had a very terrible time. Pretty fast speedrun. Inside you there are two Sigmas. And old and coffee. They'll both tell you this plotline hidden difference, seriously. So I learned enough, I didn't want to say this, but I learned enough of the third game to figure out what happens. And yeah, that sounds about right. Right when I left, yeah, I ended up getting my own group to play with literally that same exact moment there, Link, so that was very unfortunate timing. It's not that I spoiled the game for myself, it's more that I was looking at Steam reviews and I came across something that gave me enough to realize that the third game would be us being one of the people in the stopping Radical 6 from coming out. I figured that much out just from Steam reviews, and I didn't look at anything past that. I don't know anything other than that aspect there, which, you know... Yeah, it's not the biggest spoiler. I know literally nothing else. Other than also Junpei and Akane, as well as Fine Sigma, are also in the third game, which is quite interesting. So, that's the premise of the game. So, I mean, if you didn't want to be spoiled, then... probably shouldn't have watched any of this playthrough. If you're serious on that. Well, first off, it's too soon to end the stream. It's too early for that. Second off, I was gonna look anyways. We never did see Golem again, and that makes me sad. Anyways, what a freaking cliffhanger, damn. A new destination has been added to the flowchart. Time after time saw Fai's ending. This timeline jump and kill me before I can spoil it. Yeah, it's flowchart looking spicy. How long have I been going for? Too early for a break. That's a treatment spot, the treatment pot to the side there.
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6.
Yeah, it's been about an hour and 45 minutes, so nothing too worrisome yet.
So have my... Excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
On live television? Damn. For a moment, I just stared at the TV. The roar of the sack seemed to fill the entire room, until with a click it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. You. That looks to be a similar setup to what Snake was wearing in 999. Akane?
It looks like the first step was successful.
What? You killed me!
Killed?
Okay, so yes, this takes place right after the spy ending. That's what I suspected. I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still.
Hey, no need to be rude about it.
What? No need to be rude.
I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
Oh. I'm okay?
Yes. You and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Phi?
Yes. I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump.
There's treatment pod.
Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to the moon?
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029.
She's definitely crazy.
We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Fair enough, Reaper. I mean, our consciousness could have been transported before we died, so I mean, I don't know. Alice and Clover,
Yes.
right? What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't the Phi who jumped from point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from point A to point D. In other words, she was following the same path you are, and she still is.
Then that means that after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her body?
Yes. The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Then when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A, right?
Correct.
Huh. So that's why she didn't look old. So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
I can't do that.
Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines. Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets. You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074.
We did Crazio Jr. It's Clover.
You will defrost Phi and carry her to the 3rd AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out. And you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
Then I change history? Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die. Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help.
So, what do I need to do?
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we going to do then?
We'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Oh, crap. Then we're screwed.
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds.
Yes, Subtle Pup, that is correct. Old Siggy and young Siggy swapped places. Sigma, listen, we need to cook.
We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait, how do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus. So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point. A woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
My arms and my right eye? What the hell? Damn. Suddenly a low rumble shook the building. What was that?
Go have a look.
I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. A reactor went off. On the horizon I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. Would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. Saw the end, or maybe the beginning. Fire and ice. Yar, those scurvy-ridden dogs took me arms in me right eye. Impossible. What achievements am I still missing? I'm missing 3 achievements. Found all the files in VLR. I need to do that. Somehow I missed some. And there's one hidden achievement. I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious. Let's see. Wait, huh? Oh. Oh, okay. That's what it is. It's something I couldn't have gotten until now. Infirmary, another time. This just appeared. This just keeps adding things, yeah?
Where?
Sigma voice acting? Sigma voice acting? No, you took my job! No! Screw you, game! Screw you, you took my job! What am I supposed to do now if not read Sigma voice lines? Come on! Yeah, so the base game is over. This is just canon, I assume, here, but yeah. Just doesn't end.
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
This is Kay!
Wow.
Ah, yes. Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
So this was okay. So this is after the finding. He has woken up. Oh! I lurched upright and jumped off the bed and ran around the other side of the partition. The mirror over the sink was covered with a film of dirt. I wiped it off my sleeve and my reflection stared back at me. There's no mistake. The reflection belonged to
Kyle Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
An excellent question, one I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Klim was. In other history, he had been called K and had worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history though. Apparently he'd worn it all his life with the stupid baby frickin' Kyle had been born and raised in this lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure, and he had consequently grown very attached to her. I knew everything about him, but even though I knew, I didn't feel it. Was I really Kyle Klim? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. The spitting image of Sigma Klim in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio, still handcuffed. I turned back around to Luna.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
Today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked Phi. How long have I been asleep?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral.
Oh, they're all cured. Nice.
It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past.
Troy Baker moment.
Should have
Nice.
happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes.
Why am I here?
The doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Klein, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes, I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets
Oh,
restless.
Luna just keeps giving him more drugs.
What about the others?
Nice.
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
I agree with that. Good.
Right. Mr. Klein.
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
How did Akane spin the knife around fast enough to hit Sigma with the blunt end? Well, I mean, the way she held it, right? I can imagine her swinging the knife towards Phi, and then she just twisted her wrist around while in the motion. And yeah, she isn't infected with Radical 6, probably. I mean, she might have for the sake of the game, I don't know.
You plan to return them? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Klein now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened. Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not gonna change.
It'll change another
In
timeline.
fact, it's because of what he did or didn't do in the past that we've got this past and present. Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway. Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road. But about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die. The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast.
But the ones who went northwest still died, and that's why the outcome became what it did in the next time around.
But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
Right. Okay, 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip. Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories, friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy? Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting, even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness, even in a world that hates it. Are you saying that's worthless? If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines...
I mean, that would make sense. Junpei likely won't have picked up Quark in a timeline where none of this happened, which is kind of sad.
Then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, all right? You get it?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
No, it's not going to happen. We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just going to disappear or something.
Worst timeline with no root beer float ending.
Oh, then that means we get to stay together? Good.
Thanks, kid.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Bye, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see them again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
Well, no point saying anything to Dio.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course, he is Dr. Klein now that his consciousness has returned.
Alternate dimension Quark can't hurt you. Alternate dimension Quark isn't real. Oh
Yeah,
no.
But more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
And Akane?
Never mind her. She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew. She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore.
Damn.
But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
Man.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns. Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we were completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand, but...
Kinda sucks, though. I
I mean, Sigma and Phi have it easy. They get to go back to December 25th in 2028. They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to.
Definitely rose-tinted view of looking at it like that, and not any issues that could possibly come up, but still.
In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
Clover probably isn't thinking about it. But yeah, that's very unfortunate.
But we don't.
For her and Snake.
We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right?
She's definitely coping.
The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Maybe just themselves.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here.
Or maybe Kyle.
Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed. But
it's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest. We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
Are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families? We left a whole world behind 45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past.
Yeah, Kyle.
Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different? How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
Really?
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox. How could you have two Clovers and two Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Well, you're not on Earth, so already you know that Akane has no bounds.
Schrodinger's
cat.
Oh, hey, Kyle. Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
So this is the other Phi?
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure.
Glad to see you. There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind. I'd love to answer all your questions, but unfortunately, my circumstances make that an impossibility. I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have.
So yeah, this is other Phi.
Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
What? Damn, that's rude.
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure.
Yeah, they just don't have a better place to put Dia, so they're just dragging him under the sink for the rest of time, I guess.
And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a Merman or a Wolfman.
Dang, yeah, it's disappointing that Phi is not Superman.
I'm not a Brahmin or Kamen or Ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
Please don't dodge the question. About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct? Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029. On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody. Although by then you were in cold sleep, you wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body. That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out, even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AV room.
Oh.
That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out and sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body. Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Unfortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from point E, you headed straight to point D. Point D being April 13th of the following year. That was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods. Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places.
This is getting confusing.
You moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor. That put you on the line that comes here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you, only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden. Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor. It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
Oh, geez. So this is... So the Phi that we saw at the end of Phi's ending, this is the same Phi, but basically 3 months passed. 3 months... So she left her body, and then 3 months later, she was put back into her body, basically moments after she was attacked. Oh. So if we get batting in next game and need to do something, an entire cycle of this needs to happen. Yes, Rube. Literally the entire game has to happen here for every bad end we get in Zero Time Dilemma.
I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds. Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics.
The Drewberry got a recording of someone who said they failed to stop Radical 6. Was it Phi? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Someone who mentioned that, about how Radical 6 got out. That could be Phi. It could be someone else, but could be Phi. That'd be tragic if it was Phi.
Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus v1 times v2 divided by c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2.
Alright.
You see what I'm saying? In most situations it works, even if it isn't technically correct.
We're just gonna have to see, Neko.
So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about, right? As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So was that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028. You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Why?
Because it would change history. There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter.
Schrodinger's cat.
But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear. You understand?
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Climb. Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not. Think about it. Do you really believe you're Kyle, or could you be someone else entirely?
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking, he has arrived at December 25th, 2028. His consciousness has gone into a body from that time. I doubt you know how much the doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Climb's spare, but that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish.
But who swapped places with Kyle then?
This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve, 2028.
That's why I'm saying, huh?
Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
Correct.
There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028. Does that mean he has entered my body? Have we just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. What's going to happen to me? You telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space. You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system. As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you.
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play dumb. I know what you are. Surely you must know by now, too. You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past.
This could be Rube. That would actually be sick if this was the protagonist of the next game.
Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028?
Well, yes, I do, but...
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history.
Oh,
the world
boy.
will be reshaped into the one you imagine. Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
What is this game? Well, now I need the files. Oh. The Kane end. There we go. This game is... This is a lot. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna need. No, not again! No, nope, 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 stop. Nope. I literally alted F forward. I couldn't know. I approve of all random memes there, Reaper, don't worry. Oh, what is this freaking game? I'm losing it. I'm actually losing it. Most instinctual altos F4 ever. Seriously. Alright, so too early to unstream, so I'll think of something to do.